Lara Korte writes the California Politico playbook, which I read every day and encourage you to as well. She joins us live from that convention. Good to see you. I was in there with you for this Trump speech today. Can you describe for people that weren't sort of how the crowd reacts to him, what it's like to be at a Trump event, and the kind of sort of almost comedy material he's putting out there?
Yeah, I mean, Trump was in peak form today. You could tell that he was really enjoying the crowd, and the crowd was really enjoying him. It almost felt like stand-up comedy. I think that he was really feeding off the energy of the crowd. They loved the jabs he was making at California. Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi is always a big hit. And, you know, he talked a lot about California's specific issues, too. He talked about water, he talked about crime, he talked about wildfires. And I got to tell you, Alex, the crowd just ate it up. They loved it.
And he started about an hour late and then went about an hour over time. So there was a lot there.
Right.
So
yeah, if that says anything about how much people were enjoying him, well, that's definitely something.
And at the California Politico playbook, you guys write a lot about Governor Newsom, and he seemed to talk a lot about Governor Newsom.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Trump will mention that he worked well with Newsom when he was president. You know, the president always have to work with governors when it comes to things like natural disasters and other issues where the federal government has to get involved. But, you know, he still lumps him in with what he'll call the far-left radicals in California, the communists, and he blames a lot of the problems on Gavin Newsom, which is, you know, typical of Republicans. But again, this is a crowd that doesn't love Gavin Newsom, so they ate it up. They were all too ready to hear those insults lobbed at the governor.
Yeah, and he said at one point that Newsom is just waiting for Biden not to be in it, and kind of got into that as well. Right. So a lot of people that are watching this are like, why should we care about Republicans in California? Trump has no chance of winning the state in the general election. He lost last time by 30 points. Why does a Republican convention matter? Can you talk about the importance of the Republican primary to actually picking a nominee?
Yeah, absolutely. So in past years, the California primary has been a little bit later in the season, around June or so. But this year, it's earlier. It's in March, and it's going to be on Super Tuesday, which means that whatever candidate gets the delegates in California, it's going to matter more, essentially. California has 169 delegates that they can give to the any Republican candidate that wins them, and the party earlier this year voted on apportionment, which some folks feel actually benefits Trump. And so there's been a lot of talk about what the primaries is going to do for the Republican nominee on the national stage. So there's all eyes on California this year, which is different than past years. Republicans aren't usually used to getting this much attention in California.
And just to talk about apportionment before we get into the weeds and make everybody bored, basically what that means is if somebody gets over 50% of the primary election, they get all the delegates, all 169. So if Trump was able to pull that number over, that could put him over the top, and he could potentially win the Republican nomination thanks to California. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your excellent work every day. I love reading your stuff.